Hi everyone, today I'm going to demonstrate the use of a Polaroid Back on the Fuji GX680 series cameras. This is a Fuji GX680 II camera. For this purpose, they're all basically all the same. So the Polaroid Back that I have designed and built for this looks like this, and it attaches to the back of the camera the same way a film back attaches. It means you position it at an angle with this eject slot up. Awkward. Like that, and then you rotate it to a vertical position, push it a little back. Now it's perfectly aligned. So, and when you want to remove it, you press this button, the revolve button, and you simply remove it. Now, before we get to the actual use, I'm going to demonstrate the slight modifications that needed to be done on the camera in order for the back to work. Due to some physical limitations, the focal plane of the film is pushed back 4 millimeters. And because of that, of course, we lose infinity focus. But this can still focus up to a respectable 30 feet, I don't know, 7-8 meters, something like that. Depends on the lens, I suppose. But with my kit lens 135, I can focus to about 7 meters. Because of that, in order to match the focus of the waist level finder with the focus of the focal plane on the focal plane, I had to do a few tricks and basically erase the focus screen. So how is that done practically? And you only gonna have to do this once if you're only using this for the instant back for Polaroid film. If you want to use film, in order to achieve correct focus, you have to remove the spacer. I'm going to show you, and then put the focusing screen in the same position. Let's tilt this camera a bit. See if I can tilt it that much. I'll tighten it. Right. So this is the waist level finder. As you know, in order to remove this, you have to press this button and slide this further a bit. Simply lift it up. Now, normally, the focus screen is held in place by 2 screws, one here, and by a little metal clamp right here. Now, in order to remove the focus screen, you have to push the metal clamp a bit back and then remove these 2 screws using a very small, I think it's a Phillips screwdriver, the cross type, and keep these screws in a very safe place. I would recommend a bag that's labeled. You don't need this in here normally. If you just, so even if you don't have those, sits in the right place. So if you just install the Wastelander finder back, there's not pressure to put it in the right place. So once you remove those screws, you don't have to put them back necessarily. Now let's take this off. Put your nail in here, slowly lift it up. And this is your focus screen. You install this face down, this face up, so the ground face down. Now, with the Polaroid Back, you're gonna receive 2 pieces. This is the 4 millimeter spacer that goes in here. Simply goes in place. Push it back in here. And then you simply install this on top of it. It sits comfortably. And then this other piece that basically reproduces the clamping mechanism for the waist level finder. Well, not exactly, but close enough. So in order to install this, you're gonna notice that this has two plastic notches, just like the waist level finder has these two metal tabs here, two plastic tabs. And those need to go back in these slots right here. But they go back the same way this goes. So basically you push down on it with these two hooks in this place. Put it in position till you match the hooks. Push down. And simply push it in. It should be in place the same way. It doesn't go anywhere. That's it. The same way the waist level finder is. Now, in order to install the waist level finder, there's going to be two little holes here. They have the same geometry as the holes in the camera, so you can hook the notches. But I don't have the back two slots, and instead of that, I have these two rotating tabs that will hold it in place. So you simply put this in, push it in a bit, and your waist level finder goes in place. It's helpful if you raise this a bit. Alright. And that's not going anywhere. Back in business. Alright, so at this point the camera will focus 4 millimeters off, which is exactly what the focal plane displacement for the Polaroid camera is, for the Polaroid Back is. So let me carefully put this back in shooting position. And let me show you how it's done. If you ever use a Polaroid Back, the old type is the old type, the one for peel apart, it kind of works the same way, except this is for integral film, and it has a dark slide, just like the other one though. So the Polaroid Back, let me present this a bit, has a dark slide, and it's accessed, it's not obvious, it's right here. You can push it out when you want to shoot. And there's already a film pack inside. I'm actually gonna take it off. This is a spent film pack. There's no good exposures in here, but I put the film, the pack dark slide back on. So, and if you never used any of these before, the way you load it is you load the film up. You want the dark slide to be, make sure it goes all the way in, like that. Close this, and it's for the sake of it, I'm gonna put the dark slide back. The dark slide goes with this plastic lip down, away from the film. If you put it the other way, it's not gonna go in. There's no room. Wiggle it in place. Alright. So this is a loaded Polaroid Back film. And there's no on-off button. The moment you press this, you're gonna eject the first frame. In this case, we're gonna eject the film pack dark slide. Remove it. If this is actual film, I recommend you leave the frame under the frog tongue. That's how it's called. This piece is called the frog tongue. For about 10 seconds, and then remove this and rapidly place it down for a few minutes, maybe a minute or so, and then you can flip it over and observe it how it develops. For new film, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes for it to be fully developed. Black and white film is faster. Anyway, so let's get to it. I already ejected a few fake frames, But anyway, so let's attach this like we normally attach a film back. So we have everything ready. If I can get this, I haven't used. Oh, so now here the positive click. Alright, this is it. Push it back a bit because this is rotates in positive. Goes a little over, so you want to push it back a bit to achieve horizontal orientation. So how do you shoot? Well, like you normally shoot. And I made this tripod impossibly tall, so focus and you set your exposure time, you set your aperture, whatever it is, and then in order to be able to shoot with a Polaroid back attached, your camera, your mode switch needs to be in the multi position. And if you just turn the camera on and push like that, you will notice you can't really go there. But there's a little knob on the side. Right here. So you pull this out like that, and then unless your camera can go one more to the multi-shot position. Your light is gonna blink continuously while you have this attached because there's no electrical contacts. So, and that's okay, this is the expected, it's never gonna be ready, but this is the expected behavior when you have this film back attached or older Polaroid back. Older Polaroid backs. And then, don't forget, before you shoot, take the dark side out, because otherwise you're not gonna expose anything. Put this in a safe place. I should have designed a holder, I did not, maybe next time. Not in your pocket, somewhere safe. And then focus. Shoot. If you want multiple exposures, you can do that. And eject the frame using this button. Use a gentle press for about 1 second. Let go. It's automatic. Put this back, face down for like, I don't know, a minute or so, 2 minutes, and you're gonna start developing. Now, that will normally be it, but I would like to show you something else because the Polaroid frames are 75 by 75 millimeters, so 7.5 by 7.5 centimeters. Why? You're larger than 120 format. This is a 6x8 camera, so, and if you shot with this before, you're gonna notice you have horizontal and vertical frame lines in the viewfinder. In this position, the camera activates the horizontal frame lines. So in practice, this means I'm gonna tilt this down a bit. I'm also grab the phone that's leaning on something, I don't know where my tripod mount is, and show you how it's gonna look like, because that's important. In practice, your image is gonna feel the frame of the viewfinder. This includes the spacer. So the top, I think it's actually just a tad larger than that, just maybe 1%. So, but what you're gonna see for the viewfinder is this. Do you notice those two black frames? Those are the horizontal frame lines. So your image extends basically all the way over the viewfinder. So you're not gonna see the top and bottom of the actual image through the viewfinder. You're kind of gonna see the limits through those little gaps in the middle. But this is a small compromise for having a Polaroid back for this amazing camera. Yes, I'm gonna put this back. All right, put this on, turn the camera on, off. In order to take it out of the multi shooting position, you have to push the little lever out and then rotate this back camera twice, 3 times. This is over, it's done, camera is off. And then in order to remove this, as I said, you push the revolt button, rotate this left, and then gently remove it. You're done. Don't forget, actually I screwed up. Don't forget to replace the dark slide before you do that, because otherwise you're gonna fog the film. So after you're done shooting, replace the dark slide. Yeah. Anyway, so let's get started. Luckily this is not a good film pack. So this is a film pack I made for a photographer friend of mine from Italy, Nicola, and that's why you're going to see his name here. I do personalize tags for everyone, so it's a small thing I can do. And you notice there's a film counter, so it goes from 0 to 8. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's helpful. So it starts to 8. This is for modern film packs, and then you go to 7, 6, 7, 7. When you get to 0, you know you're done. And I'm gonna have to use a different screw on this guy because it came off. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully you're gonna get one and enjoy your Fuji GX680 with instant film. It's quite a pleasure, and at this point they're just as expensive as slide film, so, or slide film just as expensive as Polaroid. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye.